So currently I'm looking at the business correspondence of Montandon frères Locle from the 1830s, and in particular this document called Copie des Lettres from 1833 to 1835. And the original document is actually held at the archives of the Musée d'Horlogerie at La Chaux-de-Fonds, and interestingly, these have been attributed to Charles-Frédéric Montandon, who was one of the founders. However, in the course of analyzing and reading through all of the entries, it now becomes clear who the actual author is. And early on in the correspondence, we find a reference made that the fact that when the author had been away for some time, business was actually conducted through the author's brother Charles. And this is very interesting because it tells us right away that Charles-Frédéric was not the author. So continuing with this line of investigation, we find later on in the correspondence, there is a letter from the 19th of April to Derrière Le Mont, this Xavier Jacot, and apparently he had written on the 18th to the author's brother Paul concerning the payment of some 800 francs for some business in La Brevine. Now, this immediately tells us that this is Paul Henry who is mentioned here. Therefore, when we examine the genealogical record, Blaise Léon du Locle, and there are 5 children of David Henry. One is the daughter Julie. Now, Francois we know very little about, and he seems not to have been active in the formation of Montandon frères. However, that cannot be totally ruled out. However, when we search the remaining brothers here, we have David Henry, Paul Henry, and Charles-Frédéric. Therefore, the author of this paperwork must most certainly have been David Henry. And in the course of the actual correspondence, we see a type of numeric code used for the dating, which actually suggests that he may have been a Mason based on the way that he records the data. He has a special code for the months, and it does suggest that he may have been a Mason. But this is a very exciting revelation that we now know who is behind the bookkeeping and this documentation here. So one mystery has been solved, a very, very substantial mystery.